Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. Today we're in 11 original, which allowed me to record really nice attacks over here, and we want to take a look at Townhall 11 and Townhall 10. At those town levels, there are a lot of strategies viable, but I want to showcase one specific army which is really strong right now and not too hard to execute. So let's take a look at the first attack, and I will once again try to break it down for you guys. This is going to be a drag bed army. Obviously there's a golem in there, which normally isn't the case, but we want to take a look at the setup of the base first and how you guys can do this army or like this attack in general at home at your tablets as well. So let's figure out the first time how I did it in my last drag bed Town 12 video as well, how you break down a base for drag bed. First off, drag bed is working for Townhall 10, 11 and Townhall 12. And most of the strategies I'm showcasing on Townhall 12 can work for the other Townhall levels as well. But I still get so many questions about the armies and how to use them, and on the lower Townhall levels I would just do the video. So first off, let's break down the base. We have defenses which are really annoying to deal with for dragons. So for example, the air defenses over here, we have all of the air defenses, all 4 air defenses, kind of spread out in the base. The next thing is, because we're using drag beds, we have the enemies of the beds. We have the splash damage in the base, which are the multi-inferno towers, which are located over here. And then again, the wizard towers, which are located in this part of the base. So this is basically the setup of the base. The next important thing is you have those semi-important buildings as well, like the eagle, sweepers, and expos. Expos are dealing a ton of damage as soon as they're set to air against the dragons. We have the eagle, which is dealing a lot of damage, and we have the sweepers as well, which we have to work around. So after pretty much having like a really nicely marked base, we have to figure out a way on how to hit this base with our drag bed. First idea is to try to get into the splash damage heavy area with our dragons. That's nearly always the goal, which is this upper side. We have 4 blue circles over here, which are the enemies of the beds. So if we can take this part out with our dragons, then we have only 3 blue circles on the back side, which means it's easier for beds to go through that. So let's take a look at the attack and how he will do this without all of the marks on there, so you guys can actually see something. So let's speed up the first process, like the funneling, and the king is walking through on the right side, the queen is taking out the air defense on the left. So let's now slow down again, because the next thing is the important phase where he is actually getting into the first air defense, into the sweeper, etc., and into the expos. He's using a really nicely timed warden ability to take out the enemy queen, and now the slammer is coming in to take out the flank. And I think this is the moment, or like this is the thing which is the most important thing about the drag bed. He's using 1 golem to tank the wizard tower and the archer tower, this archer tower, and the warden, which means only this expo might be on the beds. This air defense and this air defense, except that nothing is on the beds because he has frozen the inferno tower and the expo. So this golem is super clutch, and always keep in mind that you can use that. It's a bit tricky on Townhall 12 because the point defense are dealing so much more damage than on Townhall 10 regarding the health of the golem, etc. So it's not too easy. But yeah, the beds are pretty much taking out everything. All of the air defenses are gone. Only the wizard tower is still alive, and the golem even tanked a couple of the eagle shots. So now we have 0 or 3 dragons over here, which isn't like, it seems like not too much, but we have the slammer as well, and the slammer is actually overpowered, like super strong. Let's put it like this right now. You're using the slammer nearly always in nearly all of your army compositions because he's so strong right now. The loons will take out the rest of the Tesla, and this is going to be our first triple of the day. Really nicely done by Eve Hawk, and this is the first drag bed attack we want to take a look at for Town 11. If you can't break down a base like I did with all of the circles with highlighting the important buildings for each part of the of the attack. For example, the anti-dragon part with the air defenses. Then we have the anti-bat part with the inferno towers. If they're set to multi, if they're set to single, it's even easier for you guys because you have less splash damage. And then you can easily execute those dragon attacks on your own. So the next attack is going to be on the number 31, which is going to be a Town 10 attack. But once again, the basics of those attacks are always the same. I did a frozen dragon attack for Town 12 as well, and you can pretty much copy the idea. You have once again two things which funnel your dragons, your king and your queen, which are taking out the flanks, and then from that on, you're just using the dragons in the middle, and you try to get as many freezes as possible down, and that's basically it. So let's see how he's doing it exactly. The queen is taking out the left air defense. I think he even forgot to use her ability, which is a bit upsetting because he could have taken out all of this, which would have been even better pathing for the dragons. But let's see. First freeze, second freeze. Always freeze the point defenses which could hurt your dragons. For example, Expos, Archer Towers, Enemy Queen is a super important thing to freeze. Inferno Towers in general, if you can get like value around there, for example with the air defense in the beginning. And then he's coming in with the Slammer for the back and two air defenses, and he can freeze them all the time, which is nice for him. And then you have the dragons are coming in. They're really spread right now, and it isn't really looking too good. But always keep in mind, he has still so many freezes to place, even though he already placed like plenty of those. Place the last freeze spell with this, the haste spell, to get the loons into the last couple of point defenses, and the loons will finish up most of them, which means the dragons will have a kind of easy path through the rest, because we have still a couple of dragons on the left side actually still alive, and this means only one Archer Tower is still alive, and this is going to be a 3-star because of the Slammer and the Slammer timing. So you guys see, you can use the frozen dragon strategy on Town 10, 11 and Town 12. If you want to check out my Town 12 video for that, you can do this as well. I try to explain it over there, how to approach this strategy and how to try to execute it. And it's basically always the same. If you're doing Town 10, Town 11, Town 12, it's basically always the same. It's only for getting a higher town level. There are a couple of things coming in as well, which means, for example, obviously the Townhall has to be taken in consideration because it's a little annoying at Town 12. But except that, it's basically the same. So let's check out the next attack, which is going to be on number 34, and this is going to be once again a classic drag bat attack. And on this one, like bases like this are perfect to highlight, because check out once again if I mark all of the splash and all of the anti-drag buildings. Let's mark splash damage first. Everything is splash, all of the wizard towers, the multi-inferno towers, everything is splash related to the wizard towers, the inferno towers, and now we're marking the air defenses, and you guys can see like a pattern. On the upper right side you have all the anti-dragon buildings, and on the left side you have all of the bats buildings. But what if we switch it up and try to counter each side with pretty much the counter, which means the splash damage is getting taken out by the dragons. Meanwhile, we have our bats taking out the anti-dragon part. And this is basically the idea of setting up a base to get drag bat. So let's see how he's doing it. The queen is going to funnel one side, the king obviously once again the other side. He is starting with a couple of minions just to make sure that he has not like too many time issues, because dragons can be really slow. I think most of you guys know that. So what he's doing, he's starting with a couple of minions at the top. Those minions will clear all of those buildings because there are no archer towers or whatsoever. And then we have the king walking this side. We have the queen walking this side, clearing even one of the air defenses out of the way. And now we have the dragons coming in. They have to take out most of the splash damage. That's basically the job. That's it. So let's see how they get into the base. We still have the slammer left to deploy, which is coming in now from the 6 o'clock side. The first rage is getting deployed, and even though it looks like there's so much damage, well, it's just splash damage. You don't really care as a dragon if like a million wizard towers are shooting at you. And now we freeze the only splash damage at the top. And let's take a look at the value of those freaking bats. All of the wizard towers on this side are still getting tanked or even getting destroyed right now. We have all of the bats coming in, getting rid of the last couple of archer towers. And this is going to be a crazy overkill. Really fast time on this one. And Noah is completely smashing this base. Nicely done. And once again, I think this base really highlighted how you can try to break down a base and try to pretty much exploit that Town Hall 10 has not too many splash damage buildings. There's like this one Inferno Tower is really missing over there, which is at Town Hall 12, and this is why the bats are so stronger, like way stronger compared to Town Hall 12. And well, even Town 11, they're super strong because just the splash damage is missing. So those were the dragon attacks. I hope you guys liked it. I hope you guys took something from it, and I just wanted to highlight them for Town 10 and Town 11 as well, because so many of you guys asked. Tomorrow we will be once again back with some Town 12 content, and I will see you guys then. So see you guys, and until tomorrow. Bye bye.